So you're a contractor looking to get licensed in Nevada? Well, you should know you're up against some of the toughest requirements in the entire country. In this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what you need to know to get through it, and we're starting with one very, very big number.
How tough are we talking? Let's just put this number out there, $500,000. That is the maximum contractor license bond the state of Nevada can require. And yeah, you heard that right. It is, by a long shot, the highest in the nation. This one number really sets the stage for why you've got to get this process right.
And, it's not just the bond that's tough. Nevada also has the lowest exam pass rates in the country. On the very first try, only about 58% of people pass the trade exam, and just 62% pass the business exam. So it's pretty clear that in Nevada, doing your homework is absolutely everything.
Okay, that $500,000 maximum probably sounds pretty scary, but don't panic just yet. It is not a one-size-fits-all number. The Nevada State Contractors Board, or the NSCB, actually does a detailed individual assessment for every single applicant. So, let's dive into what they're looking at.
So, the NSCB is looking at 5 key things. First, your license classification. Are you a general engineer, a builder, or in a specialty trade? And what's your monetary limit? Meaning, what's the biggest contract you want to be able to take on? Then, they do a real deep dive into your financial statements, your professional experience, and of course, your credit history.
And here's what that looks like in the real world. You see, a Class B general builder who's got a project limit under $500,000 might only need a bond of a few $1,000s. But an unlimited Class A engineer who's working on massive projects, well, they're going to be in that much higher range, anywhere from $50,000 all the way up to that $500,000 max.
Now this is maybe the most important part to understand. The bond amount is not what you actually pay out of pocket. What you pay is called the premium, and it's just a small percentage of that total bond amount. And this is where your personal financial health really, really matters. Your personal credit score is the #1 thing that determines your rate. I mean, look at this. Someone with excellent credit might pay just 1% of the bond amount each year, but someone with, say, fair credit could be looking at rates up to 5%. Let's run a quick example just to make this crystal clear. All right, let's start with a really common bond amount the board might set, $50,000.
Now, let's just assume you've got excellent credit. We're talking a score of 750 or higher. With that great credit, your premium rate is just 1%. That means for a $50,000 bond, your total cost for the whole year is only $500. See? A high bond requirement doesn't have to mean a huge cost if your finances are in good shape.
Okay, so now that we get how the bond works, let's zoom out and look at the entire licensing journey. It's a very specific, multi-step process, and you absolutely have to follow it in the correct order.
Here it is, your 6-step roadmap. You start by verifying all your experience. Then you have to pass those really tough state exams. After that, you've got the background and financial review. And notice, it's only then, at Step 4, that the NSCB even tells you your official bond requirement. Step 5 is when you go purchase your bond, and then finally, you submit everything. The whole process? It takes a while. Plan for about 90 to 120 days.
Getting licensed is a huge deal for sure, but Nevada also offers this really unique long-term reward for contractors who stay on the straight and narrow. Check this out. After 5 consecutive years of being licensed in Nevada, with no disciplinary actions, no issues at all, the NSCB can actually decide to release you from the bond requirement completely. That's right, operate cleanly for 5 years, and you might not need to carry a bond at all anymore. So we've covered the high stakes, the whole assessment process, the actual costs, and the complete licensing roadmap. Nevada's requirements are no joke, but they are totally manageable if you're prepared. So what's the first real step you can take?
Honestly, the best way to get started is to just find out what your premium will be. You can get a quick, no-obligation quote, and that'll give you a really clear picture of your costs as you start moving forward with the whole process. You can get that quote and find a ton more resources over at buysuretybonds.com. Thanks so much for watching.